since this is an impromptu video, I wanted to take a look at my fountain tarot. I had just done a video, or watched a video, I mean, where she was talking about the decks she just didn't get, and one of them was the fountain tarot, and she felt like it was really washed out and bland, and I just could not disagree more. Although I did go back and forth on this several times before buying it. You are the voice and the breath of universes. It's got a really nice wrap metal closed box. It's also, really pretty shimmery. And this book is all in English, so that's good. And it's just black in the back, normal on the inside and normal on the back. Well, somebody kind of hopped in and then left, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, I was just looking through these. Oh, I would love to get a second, to have a second deck, and just trim off the titles. Just to feel the effects of the cards with no words. I don't object to the titles or the borders at all. But I feel like it could just be a powerful deck that way. I don't know. Anyway, here's the Ten of Wands. Here is the Strength card, which I had read a really impassioned complaint about this card. It kind of came up in my mind. But I don't really want to go into it because I don't really recall it exactly, but they did find this card to be problematic, and I feel like it all depends on a very specific interpretation that they saw. Here is the Fountain card, which is obviously a special card for this deck. The Four of Cups. I love these. I don't feel they're bland at all. I always felt like this was a deck where I feel like I just fall right into the cards. I feel like there is a lot of sort of open space. It's very airy. It's a very airy deck. To me, it's very what's the word? What is the word I want? Prismatic. It's a very airy and prismatic deck, which reminds me of the backs, which is like this broken glass mosaic that I hated at first, and then I just started to like, the longer you look at it, the more you see these shapes and patterns emerge, and it's really actually pretty amazing. So yeah, and the colors remind me of sort of, I don't know, ice cream or some kind of treat. But there's the Four of Cups, Six of Swords. I love that the way that the swords just, I just love the depictions in this deck. And it's like a painting that's also like a watercolor, or it's like a photograph that's also a painting. That's also like another kind of painting. I don't know. It just feels like all these things. It feels real. So this guy always reminds me of Kevin Costner. This is like the Dancing with Wolves. Dances with Wolves. That's what this makes me think of. And I haven't even seen that movie in its entirety. The Devil. I don't know. This deck to me is just an experience. It's just an experience that is not really explainable. obviously the Five of Wands. The Hermit. I love the black and white in this. I love this card. It's just, they all give me so much feeling like I am someplace, you know? And hi, Reiki. Okay, hi. Happy Sunday. I literally was just sitting here in my room looking at my cards and was like, I'm gonna just do a impromptu live. I don't think it's gonna be very long, even though I always say that. So I'm glad you popped in. Did you see the Kevin Costner card? I don't know. I just, when I see it, it's Kevin Costner to me, and it's Dances with Wolves, which I've never even seen. So there's the Kevin Costner card. But it does give you that lonely, isolated feeling. These are so feeling for me, even though they're airy, you know. But so like this was the first deck for me that I got where the courts were so real to me. Like, I just felt like these people were so real. Like, I could tell the King of Cups is like, literally reminds me of someone who used to have a business nearby here, that he was an architect, but he was the owner of the, architectural firm. So I see this King of Cups as being a business owner, but of a creative business, you know? So more so than like but you mean, you do see that he is there, the water is kind of crazy around him, and he's calm and just chilling his chair. He's got the emotional stability, even though the waves crash around him. But just, I mean, I don't know. This was literally just for me the deck where the courts were just so, like, I could just immediately feel like I knew what these people were about. It is a little bit distracting, but I've never seen Dances with Wolves, so I don't really know what it's about, but like the mood of it fits for me, so it's all right. I have a thing where my brain just makes connections, so I'm always gonna freaking see some celebrities or something. This Hierophant is so strange to me, really. I've never really figured out what is this sort of... I feel like it's a wastebasket that he's opening the lid of. Like, this one's so strange to me, but I just still love the prismatic kind of effects of it. And then the Justice card is also really interesting because there's a serious... I'm looking up. I'm not looking at it right now because there's like a visual... What is that called? Visual... You know those pictures where you see like a young lady and an old woman? So... Oh, well, I mean, I have one that's very cartoony, and I see Cher, and I see Aiden, can't think of his name now, but I see tons of celebrities on this deck that is very sort of cartoony, so it doesn't really help unless there's just no people. What is it called? A visual, like illusions, I guess, or whatever. So, like, what I always see when I look at this is I see this big, large eye in the middle, and like almost like earrings hanging off of an eye. It's very strange, but it's like, when you look at it, you see that there is a woman here, but her body here, I see an eye. rather than being her body. So if I'm close, then her face is square, or her shirt is square, and if it's far away, it gives me a sense of roundness that I see that before I see her. So I always see that. And then I always see like sort of gray hair around here. It's like this giant head with an eyeball. It's very weird. Yes. Yes. And this is my Justice card. So yeah, strange. Justice is watching you. I love like illusions like that. I don't know. So that's kind of cool. Queen of Swords. I love her. Right? I love the way that she's like this makes me think of like the Pope mobile. So the Pope drives and he's got this like glass over him so he can't be assassinated or whatever. Because I always feel like the Queen of Swords is about boundaries and like protecting herself. And so like this was really, and then if you look, like the light around her and the chair all combines to make the star. So it's like really cool. Yes, this art is so like realistic, but then also it's like extra. It's the book, I've read through some of it. I don't think it goes into any type of detail. I'm gonna look up Queen of Swords, but let me see her. I never really thought too much about like her face because she's protected. There's almost like another face here that you could kind of see, and I don't know what exactly it is. But you could almost see like someone resting on her chest. Wow. Like right here, you can see it's sort of an illusion of someone sitting there and resting on her. But I'm sure that it's just the shape of her skin and her clothes and whatnot underneath. But it's perfect. If you look, you can see it just perfectly. But again, like, there's this strange chair she's in, and then the light around her, and it all forms this star. The swords. Queen of Swords. Sharp grace. The Queen of Swords has seen it all, knows all, and unfortunately has suffered more than her share of sorrow. Fiercely devoted to those she loves, she will nurture ideas and conversations with crystal clarity, using reliable facts and candid, if not harsh, honesty. Careful to protect herself, she is not known for her warmth, but if it's answers you seek, she is the one to solve them. Don't waste her time or betray her. She will coolly cut you down with poise and a smile. I think it's perfect. It's got the perfect amount of information. It's not like overwhelming. Meaning, great wisdom distilled from joy and sorrow, power and grace, self-reliance, strict discipline, short-lived happiness, a harsh truth, guarded strength. And in reverse, we have intelligence used cruelly, intolerance, pettiness, a gossip, deception, argumentativeness. I don't necessarily, I mean, I think the book is really good, but I really always felt like this was one I really wanted to get to know. I don't think it's meant to be there, but it's so clear that it's like she's holding someone in her lap. It's driving me crazy now. I forgot what I was saying. Six of Wands. Yes, I love the back. They look like shards of broken glass. And so I was looking at these images, are like looking through pieces of yes, I think that they do feel like that. The image, that's why I said they're very prismatic. It feels like you're looking at a world that's on the inside of another or inside or on the other side of the prism, of the broken glass, inside of the fountain, you know? Right, it's like, I love that. And then if you look at the broken glass, how it forms all these different shapes and like patterns. Like what I'm looking at and what you're looking at may not even be the same. There's this right here, there's this shape here with a sort of cross in between, and then this around, so it's like radiating. And then there's also like this, so hard to do because it's not still, star shape here. And then also I can see, I don't think it's supposed to be, it looks like a moon or something, but it kind of looks like eyes peeking out right here. It's very interesting. I'm not doing readings, Aldona. I'm just looking through a deck, an older deck of mine that I haven't looked at in a while. It might. The minor, the major. Know from the creators. Humans have always attempted to manifest their highest spiritual selves through art, writing, relationships, music, other means. The Fountain Tarot mixes classic symbolism with contemporary art, molding the past and present to express the divine. The Fountain Tarot lives and breathes the universal and unnameable force of which everything and nothing are a part. It reflects an infinite consciousness beyond the cycles of birth and death, beginnings and endings. It is a return to the oneness of which we all sense that we are, and a removal of separateness. Ultimately, separateness. Note to self. I'll get back to that in a second. Ultimately, the Fountain Tarot exists to make a difference in people's lives, in your life. We hope to find you find insight, beauty, and endless joy in this book for years to come. All right, so we're talking about the removal of separateness, and again, talking about a prisma. So a prism, I mean, literally, light goes through a prism, and then it separates into the spectrum, and looks like it's 7 separate colors, but it's the white light. Are you with me, Reiki? Are you with me on this? It's like, right. It's like it's showing different, just very, yeah. Like it's all, yes. I don't have the right words, but exactly. And it's like I already felt that, but then when I read that, and it just like, yeah, I mean, I think this deck is amazing. I went back and forth on it for a long time. But it was one of the early ones that I bought, and it was probably around the time that it came out, or that the mass market came out, or whatever. This is the Empress. She also looks like somebody famous. Not really up close, but from a distance. When I see her, it makes me think of Sissy Spacek. That's what I see. Now, like, if you look at her up close, see if I can get it to focus on her face. Come on, focus, focus. Focus. There. I don't think that really looks like Sissy Spacek at all when I look at her up close, but I don't really see her that way. When I see her all together, I kind of see her. And it works, though. It just works for me. Everything about this deck. I just love this deck. I just haven't even used it or looked at it in the longest time. And even when I first got it, Ace of Swords. Look at that. So when I first got this deck, I was still learning. I was still very much just learning. And, right, and Sissy, like, I don't know, like you just get this sort of calm, motherly sissy space. I mean, she played different roles, but I'm getting like a very calm, motherly sissy character that's just very nurturing and empress like, I guess. But like, what was I gonna say? So I was still learning, so like a lot of stuff, either some of the cards, I didn't get as well or whatever, but I just felt like very intuitively able to connect with it, you know? Like I loved the way that it made me feel. And now I've had it up for a long time and I've learned a lot about tarot outside of this deck, and now it's like looking at it, there's more. You see more. And I love that. Like, that's me. I'm a hoarder. So if I get a deck and I'm like, this deck, like people are like, no, I'm moving this deck on. I mean, my deck just goes to the back of a closet somewhere, wherever. And then later on, I may find that I connect with it or whatever. I had a really, really hard time working with the good tarot at first. And now I work really well with it. And also, I think the longer you work with tarot, the more you develop a kind of way that you work with different cards in a way that you don't understand when you're first learning tarot, as a very basic like tarot, to read tarot cards in a I think usually when you learn at first, you're looking to do predictive readings. You're looking to be to use it as oh my gosh, the neighbor kid's out there. She's very high. She gets stressed out really easily, so she's crying, of course. But anyway, I'm a dragon, right? I'm a dragon. I have a horde, and I love my horde. I do love my stuff. I'm a stuffed person for sure. But dragons have hordes, so just saying. What was I even saying? Divinatory, and divinatory in a very sort of narrow way. And then as you learn tarot and you learn like different ways, and you kind of, learn, and the cards start to feel a little more alive or whatever, and you realize that you interact with different decks in different ways. I don't know. I feel like you expand so much, but whatever, my point is that certain decks work in certain ways. Like like a deck you might use to connect like with inner child work, or that a deck you feel gives you ancestral energy or whatever. When you're first learning tarot, like that's just way above your pay grade. So a deck that might work really well in an aspect like that just might not make sense to you as a learner deck or just as a generic deck. So I don't know. I feel like put those decks away, come back to them later when you're in a different place. I feel like almost all decks, there'll be a time where you might be ready for it. Maybe not. Who knows? Even some that you like really fucking hate. I got, when I first started in really getting back into tarot and discovering it online and stuff, what's her name had gone off the deep end, and was like, don't buy any of my decks. So I went Doreen Virtue, and so I gobbled up as much Doreen Virtue decks as I could, because people were going crazy and like throwing them away and burning them, and I'm like, yeah, I want all the Doreen Virtue decks. I'll sort it out later. I'll think about it later. Yep. And so like her Angel one seemed like it'd be a really good one for beginners because there's so much information on them. But it didn't really work for me as a beginner, but like it works better for me now. So, yeah, you know, it's just a thing. So here is the reason actually that I even wanted to do this video. What made me go, I want to do this video, was Kevin Costner. I was just like, I want to do a video and like tell everybody, doesn't this look like Kevin Costner? I love this. I love this. So this is the Knight of Wands, but it's a girl to me for sure. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but to me it is. And she's just so sort of jouncy, which I don't think is a word. But there's like, I just love her energy. Oh, kind of, but I totally get it because, like, I'm not a stranger to that type of Christianity that she became a part of. I think maybe it was her husband. It's always a man. It really is. You can say whatever you want about me, but it really is. Ace of Wands. I remember just loving this Two of Coins. Just freaking loving this Two of Coins. Right from the start. Six of Coins. Look at that, so beautiful. This beautiful glass heart. And it's not broken. Like this, the swords are going through it, they're piercing it, but it's not broken. But again, this is like crystal, I guess. Glass or crystal. There's a lot of sort of crystalline energy of this deck. This one here makes me think of, right, it's interesting that it's not broken. It just, like, pierces right through. Ooh, the cups. This is so weird. Thinking about the cups in the Thoth deck. And I remember on some of the cups thinking, like, I've saw it on another cups recently, too, where there was a design that I felt like could be on the outside of the cup, but it could also be that we're seeing into the cup. I don't know, I found that really interesting as well. But I also could see sort of a uterus design on the cup that I should probably do a video about. But it's interesting because we've got this mountain, this high mountain with the snow and this very cold, cold feeling. And then this. On the Three of Swords, I could do that. So this is Page of Coins. This card makes me think of Little House on the Prairie. In the opening. The opening scene where the girls are all running down the hill. I read pretty, I think you probably know by now, but I read quite intuitively, so it really doesn't bother me if I get to see that. And then look at how there's like this energy circle around the coin. It's really interesting too. I love that. Those are the details I really love in this deck. Hello, Hershey the Shadow Reader. How are you? We're looking up. First of all, we either see The Sound of Music or, I forgot what I said. Little House on the Prairie here. And then this one, we were noticing, and look at also how you see the colors, of course. How it pierces, and I just thought of a Taylor Swift lyric, in the anti-hero song, pierced through the heart but never killed, right? So we noticed it wasn't broken, so we're going to look it up and see what it says about the Three of Swords in the book. Cups, 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 swords. I've had this deck for a long time, and I'm just taking another look at it, Hershey. I think it's really beautiful. Look at all the pink. Gosh. This deck is so much about light to me. This is absolutely about light. It's so funny. It's called a fountain, and I don't think of it as like a water fountain, but literally a fountain of light. Three of Swords. It says, you want to know the irony here, Reiki? Is that it says a shattered heart. Like you've been looking, like you've been considering this deck. I know, isn't that crazy? This is why I don't even want to look at the book, man. I just want to have my own relationship with this deck. But it says, in its cold and stormy environment, the Three of Swords indicates that I can't read. You are taking your first tentative steps into a particular area of life, and your heart is about to be abruptly broken. Hey, it's Miss Moonlight. Yeah. We were just talking about how it's like not shattered. And then we look in the book, and the book says a shattered heart. So it says it's about to be abruptly broken. A piercing truth or occurrence is imminent, and your life will not be the same once it has happened. It will hurt, but in retrospect, you saw it coming. And if you're really being honest, it's accompanied by a sense of relief. Ooh, I understand that. Though it's little consolation in the moment, it's times like these that bring us our most profound growth, right? A painful truth revealed, a separation or loss involving love, betrayal, heartbreak, emotional numbness, personal growth through disappointment. So, interesting, of course. And of course, it's glass or crystal, which is perfect for, you know, the maybe this is the broken heart right here. After it breaks, and then it's rearranged into this beautiful arrangement. And then we look through that pieces of the broken heart to see the entire deck. Although there's actually a fountain card. That was kind of a fun idea. I know that I just saw the fountain card. Oh, here. I want to take that out, because I want to look at it again in a minute. Because I also kind of feel like the fountain is like into another dimension. You know? Now I've lost it. I lost the heart because I was searching for another card. This card, I just really like it. I don't know what else to tell you about it. I just really like it. Even though it's the Four of Cups and it's not a happy card, I just really like this card. Here we have the Ten of Coins right there in the archway. Interesting. For me, it feels like, okay, but the Ten of Coins isn't really just about money, so it's a little bit... I got so close, I only saw this archway and then backed up and saw the second archway, so that's interesting. Because I feel like it's more about more, it's, you know, but not more is not shown. Here's the Hanged Man. I think I didn't love this one just because men in their underwear. Yeah. It's not a pleasant image, in my opinion, overall. And is he wearing socks too? Jeez. Let's see. This is really cool because he's like walking on the swords. It's very interesting. Although I really do like the idea of the swords being laying on the ground. They're not, and so that's actually something, right? That's actually the kind of thing that makes me say, okay, why did they change that, and what does that mean, and how is it add to my understanding of the card? You know, which I'm not doing right now, but just kind of putting out there. It's sort of interesting. But we do see, like, he's above them, like he's, you know, haha, I won, I'm better than you, kind of a thing, right? I just saw a thing. This made me think of something I just read on Facebook, and it was just a meme. This is something like people who treat their birthday like it's just another day, act like they're better than everyone else or whatever. And someone said, "We're just sad. Leave us alone." It was like exactly like, but some people do. They act like they're more mature. I've heard people say, you know, birthdays are for children. It's like, But when you were a child, did you actually get a birthday? Because I feel like maybe you didn't with that kind of attitude. Anyway, 2 wands. And this kind of makes me think of a couple different things, but one is like the labyrinth where he has that ball. And the other one would be the dark black cauldron, because the girl has she calls it her bauble. It's like that. But then they're holding these sticks that are like chopsticks. Exactly. I don't know, maybe they are drumsticks. Nine of Cups. Now this is a happy guy. I bet he celebrates his birthday, you know? I like this. This is probably one of the nicest Nine of Cups cards, honestly. Some of them are so smarmy. Yes! I was thinking that too with the sound healing for sure. And like the Nine of Cups often is just so like you see this guy, this merchant, and he's kind of smirky, smarmy looking. I don't know. Like this guy, he looks really happy. He looks spiritual and soulful, and yeah, like he's doing sound healing for himself and for others. This is such a great Nine of Swords. Like, it's terrible, but it's fantastic. The swords, I mean, in this, to me, immediately feels like a dream, a terror, a fear, but it's a nightmare. Which, you know, it's the nightmare card. But it, you know, absolutely gives that. This one is interesting and curious. Ooh. I love this sort of gyroscope for the Wheel of Fortune. I love it when you can really do something new with the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like there's a lot to it, and it's often just really flattened out and simplified. And this is the opposite of that. Okay, Reiki, we understand. I'm going to try to move through these anyway, because I don't want this to be a super long video. This is the deaths. And I liked right away the way that the light and dark was divided. I don't know. It's just very interesting to me. And then this makes me think of Harry Potter, like the 7th or 8th movie where when they're fighting the war, just because of the tent. It just does. 4 of coins. It's so weird that you like put your coins. Kind of makes me think of like a tax shelter, but like that you would put your coins in a tent. You would stack them up and put them in a tent. Also, they're really, really big coins. They're like bigger than pancakes. Page of Cups. I was just kind of letting it come into focus. These are just so, there's just so much, like visually and spiritually, I guess. Coins are in the tent, and where's the owner? Right, they're out there in the cold somewhere. And you can see there's that circle around her. I'm trying to remember if this was the card. There was one specific card that made me decide that yes, I needed this deck. And I don't, this is me. Like, I am the Page of Cups. So I was thinking maybe it was that, but I don't think so. I love this magician. I love this world, and it also even gives me kind of a little bit of Wrinkle in Time feeling, where they're traveling through the dimensions. The Judgment card. This looks like a soft serve vanilla ice cream cone. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'm just hungry. It also kind of looks like a cocoon. Oops. Now we're upside down again. Ooh, okay. This one, the Two of Cups, is very was kind of a weird one for me. Like, what? The cups are floating away. This is so strange. Or maybe they're floating down into their hands. I don't know. Who knows? The Sun. Where we have this sort of child. Like, your imagination can do so much with this. The cups are floating in space. Yes, but why? That's unusual for a Two of Cups. And this really does give me A Wrinkle in Time. Seriously, this deck gives me serious Madeline Allingo vibes. No wonder I love it so much. Like, even how they go into these sort of alternate worlds and they all feel so weird, like they're like our world, but they're not, and they're just, like this guy. I don't, it just, yeah. Seriously. Serious Wrinkle in Time vibes from this deck. Like, we have this child who's, like, swinging on the sunshine, on the beams of the sun. I don't know, that's just really cool. This is just lovely. Everyone tell me what this card is, what they see. And then I'll tell you what I see. There's Kevin Costner again. I'll give you guys a few minutes to, like, think about it yourself before I force my vision. of it. You know, I feel like this soft color palette is so nice, but to me it's not bland at all. And nor do I feel like it's all beige. Like you could say this is beige, but I see orange. And like this is green. I don't know. Any thoughts on this card before I say what it makes me think of? It's kind of weird what it makes me think of because, like it shouldn't probably, there's very few people here on this beach. There's just this handful of people that are kind of celebrating, like with a light show or whatever. It's Four of Wands. It makes me think of that festival in California. Now I can't think of what it's called. Big music festival where everyone goes really crazy and they're really kind of bohemian and like out there and stuff. I can't think of what it's called. If it pauses, I'll be right back. I don't think it'll keep right. I'm back. Did anyone comment? I don't see any comments. Hold on. So, this makes me think of Coachella. Even though, like, in so many ways, it's nothing like Coachella, but it just puts Coachella in my mind when I see it. It's weird because I don't even know that much about Coachella. The first things I heard about it was people complaining about it. And look at this guy. Like, you just, King of Coins, you just know. You just know what he's all about, right? He's just, you know, perfect. And of course, Seven of Coins is very good. Does he sort of look like Gordon Ramsay? I don't like Gordon Ramsay, but shh, we won't tell ourselves about that. Well, this is really neat, and it gives really good credence to the whole on the moon thing. Maybe the whole thing is on the moon. This definitely has a moon feel. King of Wands. I mean, so much of that just spectrum-y kind of feel. It's not the word I wanted. I need to like get a notebook, start making notes. Interesting too, because this is the King of Wands and he's not sitting on a throne. He seems like he's climbing, but there may be this door here. Like, you could really... They're very sort of dreamy in a way. Hello, Chaylee. We're just looking through the Fountain Tarot. Having a second-ish look. The tower is really... I like the way it looks upside down. Kind of abstract and different. From here, you're kind of like, why is it so much bigger on top? Of course it's falling down. Like, this is not a balanced situation. And again, it makes me think of, I'm not even going to explain it. It's just in a really weird way. It makes me think of the Poltergeist when they are trying to, like, reach her with the ball, with the tennis balls or whatever, and the rope. It's just got that other dimension kind of feel. And here is the chariot, which is also divided in the same way that the death card is. How about that? Oh, this guy is Harry Potter, by the way. And his sword is clear. A lot of the swords are clear. Almost feels like, not plexiglass, but I can't think of the material, but I know it in my head. The Emperor with the cubes. Super interesting. And the red. And the 9 of coins. Oh, I'll be right back. I just love the sort of layers and layers and layers that we get. The star. Right away I saw the Thoth Hermit. The Hermit in the Thoth card. But this star is very interesting. And I love this. It feels like a trophy. It feels like a cake. It just feels like a lot of things. I'm gonna have to go eat soon. Again, we've got these clear swords. I can't think of the material that I want to think of. Reiki, you're back. What'd you miss? Oh, let me see. You missed this one. The star, which the first thing I honestly saw was the Hermit from the Thoth deck. Our 9 of coins, I like the sort of layers of rose. I got the Emperor with the red and the squares. And I said, this is Harry Potter. So the swords are all like this clear material, and I'm trying to think of what it is, and it's not plexiglass, but there's a specific type of material. We used it in shop class for something. It's like acrylic. Is acrylic what I'm thinking of? Maybe I'm thinking of acrylic. I don't know if anyone else kind of gets that. I mean, maybe they're meant to be made of light because everything's so lightish. But it just gives me like that acrylic. And then the chariot is divided in the same way that the death card is. There are, I believe, this was made by, created by Jonathan Sayes, written by John Gruel, and designed by Andy Todaro. So I don't know, created and designed. Oops. Whoa. Like this bird up here. But yeah, acrylic, I think, is actually the word I was thinking of. They give me like this feeling of acrylic swords. But like, you know, because the light goes through them. And I don't know, the High Priestess was actually kind of not my favorite. It has elements I do like and do not like, but I think I'm good with it now. this one's really cool too. I am a sucker for just circles and sort of, they give you like that sort of portal feeling, and then also like the repetitive, like overlapping. All right. Anybody want to guess who this guy is? Yes, true. Some of them are much more angular, and maybe there's a reason. Like, I mean, this is a cup. This is a feminine suit. This is a masculine suit. This is a masculine suit. Masculine suit. You get the shards, just like the shards on the back, you know? This is a feminine suit. I think that the feminine suit, masculine ones that have the very geometric. And I feel like the wands are literally, they're like lasers almost everywhere. And then the swords are like these acrylic swords that let the light through. And that's Adam Levine. This is Adam Levine for me. I don't know. Let's see if he looks like him up close. Yes, very lightsaber-ish. But like not too much that it's bad. But yeah, I don't think he ever stops looking like Adam Levine to me. But it's so weird that he's like, I don't, is this his body? This is very strange. Is he behind something, in front of something? Is he a projection? Like his head is just a projection from one dimension, and this is all projected from another dimension entirely? Right. Then we have the Knight of Coins. And this one gives you that feeling of like an old-fashioned, like a Waterhouse painting or something, you know? Like an old sort of Arthurian type of the, let's see, Waterhouse was, what was their pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood? He's doing a yoga stance in it. Probably. I'm not even going to say anything more about that because it's very naughty. But Adam Levine would say something naughty. Oh. Uh-oh, I hear the ice cream truck. 9 of Wands. I'm not going to tell you what kind of yoga stance he's doing. Or 9? Yes, 9. So he's like climbing up these sticks. And he's got 2 of them in his hands. Very interesting. I don't entirely have that figured out, but I feel confident that there's stuff in there for me. You know? Oh, look at that. 8 of Cups. I can hear it so clearly. I don't even know if you probably can't. With the Ace of Coins, which just feels like, again, like you're on another planet. It has a very sci-fi kind of feel, like. Wow. The ice cream truck says, hello. They'll be back another day. This could also be Adam Levine. It's probably the same model. But this is just like this monument in the middle of the jungle. It's just like... Dr. Mystical. I don't think it's Dr. Mystical's ice cream truck. Wait, I've got money for the ice cream truck. Wait for me. I'm gonna have to tell, I'm gonna have to pass that on. The ice cream truck. Woo, very good, very good, very good. Ooh, this one's cold, right? Ooh, that's the Fool. You see, there's like this prism here. Literal, like, prism. Which is the cliff, but... And the Fool looks like he's light himself. Racing at the speed of light. Yeah, could be ice. Could be acrylic. Temperance card. I love this. Clearly this is a page of wands. Did you finally get the chance to dance along the light of day and head back to the Milky Way? Queen of Cups. It's just very peaceful. I feel like this is like so spirit. You know what's interesting? Look at the shape of this water, like she's in a cup. And I don't know if that's meant or what, but like this is not an open body of water. It would not lay like that. It's actually like she's in like a glass. You know, but it feels very much like she's, you know, doing something very spiritual, being baptized or meditating or whatever. Oh. Here we have the swords. The Knight of Swords. Charging up the rainbow. Whoosh. The World. I love this. Absolutely love the dimensionality of this. I sound a little blue. Oh yeah, I think I'm just getting... I've been on for a while and like energy starts to drain. Three of Coins. We have 3 coins, but then we have 1 coin that is divided into 3 parts. Half and 2 quarters. It could be this deck. Could be, oh. The deck is just taking me off into a soft, cool place, you know? This is like my favorite. My favorite Queen of Coins. I don't know, she's just so... No, she's the queen. Obviously. I just adore her. And we have this monk with a cup on his head. And there's like this waterfall behind him and below him. This might have been the card that made me realize that the 7 of Swords... Now, these are actual swords. These are not acrylic swords. These are sharp swords. that made me realize the way that the Seven of Swords was holding the swords in a way that looked quite painful. Like I might not have noticed that before. The moon. Again, you get such a sort of sci-fi feeling with this one. And your two dogs, or your dog and your wolf, they're there. But they're just like shadows. You know, I feel like I even almost want to combine this with my Wild Unknown. Long crystals. Well, they do look a little crystalline there now that you point it out. I feel like these are just all so good for meditation. Seven of Cups. I never thought of it before, but there's just the world, like it's all a world of projection. They both feel like they're worlds of projection to me. I'm trying to think, what does Seven of Cups traditionally look like? Oh, it's all the choices or whatever. So there's nothing literally in her cups, but sort of light. She doesn't look very happy. I'll give you that. I feel like the book is going to give me an almost traditional interpretation, but maybe it won't. Lost in choice. A woman stands literally caught in the misty bliss of her choices. Could see that. The Seven of Cups shows an intimate and personal moment when too many choices are available. We fantasize about endless opinions, but when they actually exist, our imagination and emotions can begin to complicate the situation. Ooh, right? It would be easy and tempting to remain in the daydream, but to grow, you must commit to a choice and take action. It will undoubtedly change your course, but will move you forward. Low battery. Oh, yeah, that's right. Going live drains my battery. Yes, you did. You definitely did. This is like my favorite Eight of Wands, almost, maybe. How fantastic is it that you're actually in the middle of the Eight of Wands? And at the same time, while they go in this direction, then this creates like a path, and this creates rays. So depending on how you look at it, you can see it in a flat way or a three-dimensional way. So I love that as well. She's pretty. Right, it's like the sun. Rays of the sun. I love it. We're a queen with the little black cat at her feet. And the wands all seem to be, I swear, they just all seem to be about dancing in the light, you know? this is the Knight of Swords. Really interesting. And you see how they make like a star shape here too. There's so many choices. This is such a good 5 of coins. And Ace of Cups. Look at that. This is very, gives me a thought. Feels thothy to me. So that was all of them. And my battery is dying, so I'm going to have to let you go. For anyone who joined in the end, there is our Kevin Costner card. And I'm going to look up the fountain, because I think that's fair. This might have been the one. I don't know. There was one card that I saw that just said, you must get this deck. And so I did. The fountain exists outside and beyond. Thank you, Reiki. The cycles of birth, death, time, and form. Also, the keyword for the fountain is be. It is the nameless, changeless source of which everything is a part. It is the waking from the dream of separateness. Ooh, we talked about that earlier. And identity and the recognition of oneself is not only connected to all things, but all things. Interesting. Divine nature. When the fountain appears in your reading, relinquish all illusion of control and remain quiet. It invites you to observe, master less, and to just be effortless and indistinguishable from life. You are the voice and the breath of the universe. Be. Right. Oneness, a moment of cosmic clarity, fully awake, the end of seeking, enlightened being, surrender to that which you are, whole and perfect. In reverse, identification with the role or personality, so like your ego, I guess. Fear, and then in quotes it says, or in parentheses, of being alone. Mind obsessed, separation from source, resistance to or denial of reality. Reality and Reiki B. So love you guys. Gotta go. Battery's gonna die. Until next time, be well.